Okay, today's lesson is over el futuro in Spanish. So, we already know how to use the futuro with ir. So you can use the ir plus a plus infinitive to talk about el futuro in Spanish, so the future tense in Spanish. So, if I wanted to say, are you going to go by train? I could say van a ir en tren. All right, so that structure still is the future tense, but it's more of immediate future. The futuro regular is the way to say will in Spanish. So to form the future tense of AR, ER, and IR verbs, you just add the following endings to the infinitive of the verb. So these are your future tense endings. You have has, a, hemos, es, han. Okay? All of them have accent marks except the nosotros form. All right? You just add these right to the infinitive. You don't even have to take the AR, ER, or IR off. Okay, so hablar is hablarás in the to form, and that means you will speak. Comer is comere in the yo form, and it means I will eat. And escribir is escribirán, they will write. Okay, so notice that I'm just adding, again, those endings to the infinitive of the verb. I'm not taking off anything of the infinitive, okay? So the word will does not exist in Spanish. It is implied whenever you put the future endings onto these verbs, okay? So this is you will speak, I will eat, they will write. Okay, there are some irregulars. There are 12 irregular forms in the future tense, but they can be divided into 3 categories. So there's the drop E's, the doctors, and the pirates, okay? Irregular future tense verbs change their stem before adding the same endings as regular future tense. Okay, so all the endings are the same. It's just the stem that's different. All right? So the drop E is called, or the first group is called the drop E verbs. They're formed by dropping the E of the infinitive before adding the future endings. Okay, so we have all of these verbs are the drop E verbs. So we just take the E out of caber and the future stem is cabra. Okay? The future stem of haber is abra, all right? And that means to have, but it's a helping verb. It's not ever going to be like I have 4 brothers. You're never going to use haber with that, okay? You'll use tener. Poder means to be able to, and the future stem is podr. Querer, the future stem is quer, and then saber, the future stem is saber. So after you have the future stems down, all you do is add the regular endings to these stems. The second group is called the doctor verbs. They are formed by changing the vowel of the infinitive to a D before adding the endings. So, poder, tener, venir, salir, and valer are all doctor verbs, okay? So, poner becomes pondre, tener becomes tendre, venir becomes vendre, salir, saldre, and valer, valdre, okay? So, after you have these irregular stems for these verbs, everything else is the same. The endings are the same, all right? The final group is the pirate verbs. When you say the changed infinitive, you sound like a pirate. That's why they're called the pirate verbs. So the endings are taken off of the infinitive, then the C changes to an R. With decir, the E will change to an I. So let's just look at these. There's only 2. So it's just decir and hacer. You're still going to use the same future endings as we did before, all right? So, decir, the future stem is dir, and then hacer is ar, all right? So notice that there's those R's in there, so we're sounding like pirates. There's only 2 of them, and they're super irregular, okay?